Hello everyone, Ceri the Crafter here, that's C-E-R-I the Crafter, and I'm here today with the beginning of a personal project actually, and I thought I might as well turn the camera on because in the future if I share it with you, you'll all ask, have you made a video? So I'm just going to show part of it anyway. So as you know, I collage, and as you know, I have this big beast of a collage book that I actually do my collages in, which, how would I word this? This is sort of collage that is more like memory keeping or storytelling. It's a way of giving me something that will spark something in my own mind, and I'll go, I know what that's about, and I know what that's about, and you enjoy them, and I love doing them as well. So, but that's only one sort of collage I do. Now, obviously I do collage in my journal making, but I'm talking about more like magazine stuff and picture stuff. So that's what you're used to seeing me do. And then a while ago, I was actually, I'm subscribed to obviously other YouTube channels because why wouldn't I be? They inspire me. I love sharing them amongst my artistic community. I love seeing what other people are doing. I enjoy it. I don't watch TV very often, but I certainly watch YouTube. And one of the YouTube channels I really enjoy is Nicole at Relax Cut Glue. Mind you, when she introduces it, it's like, hi, this is Relax Cut Glue. Yep, sorry Nicole, if you watch this, yeah, I can't do it. But what I'll do is I will put a link to her channel down there in the description box. It might say read more, see more. Click on there, there'll be a link to her channel in there. She's a fun lady, very, very talented. And I would say 90% of her content is about glue books, and I like glue books. And a little while ago, well, not a little while, I want to say it must have been last year actually, I was inspired to start a glue book that was themed. So this is my colour themed glue book. She does them, she does lots of different glue books in lots of different themes because she absolutely loves them, and I'm really enjoying doing this one. So that's another one, and maybe at some point in the future I'll flick through this to show you this as well. However, I ended up with a problem. I have here, this is the drawer of the images I normally pull from. These are magazine images, book images, snippets. These are things I pull from to create my my larger pieces. It's also things that I pull from if they're the right colours for my coloured glue book. However, other than that, I have a whole box full of fussy cuts that I use for my ephemera, and I use for my glue book, and I use for my collage pieces. But there are always those pieces that don't fit into any category. So I have this tray. So this tray is images I actually really enjoy looking at, and I love, and it's building, and it's building, and it's building. However, I'm not doing anything with them because they don't seem to fit in with anything I'm doing. Some of them, the reason is that they're just, I mean, that's a beautiful image. I like the style of it, I like the colour scheme, but the trouble is, I mean, here's another one. I mean, good grief, I'd love a room that could have windows and doors that big. And I mean, that's beautiful, that's gorgeous. I find these inspiring. They give me ideas for colour schemes, they give me ideas for patterns and designs. However, they don't do any good just sat in the tray. And the other day, Nicole mentioned something in her video and she showed it, and I went, that's what I'm looking for. So basically, Nicole has a sketchbook. I think she's on her, I think it's called, oh God, what's it called? Her Big Bad Glue Book or something like that, I think it's called. She started with a smaller one, but she decided to go to a bigger one. And basically, it's just where she puts random images. She usually does them, from what I can tell, it's a double spread. So she'll put whichever images are on there. Maybe there'll be a theme, sometimes there won't be a theme, maybe it'll just be colours. Then she'll go over them and she can put washi tape on, she can put words on. So basically just collaging, but randomly collaging. And I thought, you know what, that works for me. So I went to my W.H. Smith's, which is my big stationery store, found this in the reduced style. So this would normally be about £9.99, £10, and I got it for £4 odd. And I thought, you know, it's a sign, it's perfect. And obviously I'm going to do the cover at some point. So I thought, right, let's just create some backgrounds. Let's just stick stuff down. So I've got my pages. I've got a small guillotine with me. No particular brand. It's just easier than me having the big one. I've got my glue stick. I've got my smoother. And over to this side, I've got some glue pages, which I'm sure are probably going to be off screen as we go along. And I thought, why not just start? Let's just do this. This can be my big bag random glue book. Something that Nicole did suggest, and I thought this was a very good suggestion, having one that's spiral bound or ring bound like this means the pages have room to expand, whereas if they've got a spine on them, sometimes the spine will crack or break if you overstress it. Also, if you're working in a glue book with a spine, you usually have to work a bit in the front, then a bit in the back, and then maybe a bit in the middle, and go back to the front half, the back, so that you expand the spine evenly. Because if you start at the front of the glue book, by the time you reach the back, it's going to have distorted the spine, and the page is never going to open properly. So that's what we're going to do. So I thought, right, what we're going to do is I'm going to pull out some images from this basket of mine and see if I can just make some backgrounds. They are not going to be finished pieces. I'm not going to be pulling the washi tape out, not going to be wording, not going to put fussy cuts on. I'm just going to spend probably about 45 minutes just sticking stuff down and just chatting as I go along. Maybe about what I'm sticking down, maybe, who knows, I can gossip about anything, me. So, right, let's pull the first one in, right. All right, let's talk about, actually two chairs and a stool. There's a chair on there. That's a very tiny chair on there. That's furniture. That's a tiny one. Don't know why that's in this one. Floral, fruit, bed. Let's just have a look and see what's in here. So stool. So let's look at things to sit on, shall we? Okay, there's some with some chairs. It's a bathroom. Gosh, that's a yellow room, isn't it? I like yellow, but I don't know I could live with that. Wallpapery type stuff. Stripes. So okay, there might be a stripe theme. Let's start making some piles, shall we? Out of your sight, but in my sight. So things for stripes can go up there. Furniture can go there. Floral can go there. Let's call that fruit. There's furniture. Maybe that's a bedroom one. Let's put furniture. There's a bathroom one. I've got another bathroom one there. Let's just put those to one side. Stripes, there's stripes on that. What's that? That's a bedroom. We've got lots of little pieces in here. Let's put the little pieces to one side as well. Oh, that's a random. Actually, black and white. Let's do black and white as another category. Let's call that household accessories and just leave it to one side. So as you can see, I'm just going to go through. I'm not going to do that with each single image. I'm just going to pull a few out, and then when I've got a few, like I've probably got enough there to do chairs at the moment. That's another black and white image. That's not really black and white, that's sepia, like this books. That's probably a dressing room, living room. Let's call that abstract. Oh, there's more books. So as you can see, it's just stool. There you go. That's a chair one. I'm looking for chairs at the moment. That's what I'm looking for. But see, stuff like this out of a magazine, I find that really inspiring. Like, look at that. Okay, that's obviously a piece of art by, well, it's in 1948. It might be Lorenzo Fini, something like that. I mean, that to me is interesting. I want to know why that looks like that. So, what was it? Chair. There's another bed. So I find things like that really, really interesting. Right, let's stop there. Let's deal with chairs. Right, I'm going to lay these back in the order I've put them together in groups. And I think moving forward, because I haven't really thought this through, I might go through this whole tray and get some paper clips and actually paper clip them into groups, so that then at least the background has some kind of theme to it. So we've got chairs here. Well, that's, oh, I nearly lost that one. So that's a stool, that's a chair, that's a chair, that's a stool, that's a chair, that's a chair, that's a spiral thingy, that's a chair. I wonder whether there's enough that's just chairs. So my eye will immediately try to start grouping things for a reason. Like colour, like there's red and red in there. Actually, there's teal and teal in there. Or turquoise. And there's turquoise in there, right? Those two maybe don't get used in this one, but I'll put them just by there. So just lovely images. Actually, I didn't see the green is there and there as well. There's obviously not enough of them, but that doesn't mean I can't make it work. Right now, all of these are cut into squares or rectangles, just my personal preference. And I think I'm going to make a little bit of a mark there. Right, bear with me, I just need to cut this one down a bit. I think it was about there. Right, and I'll keep this scrap just in case I need it. So if that goes down the edge of there, that could come in next to it. That I think would be interesting. I like that, but actually I might want it down there. So I can't tell you why I collage the way I collage. I just collage, actually. Now that might go in because there's a piece of furniture there. I might throw that back in the basket. So what else have we got here? There's red in that and there's red in that. That might go up there. There's red in there, but I think that's not really a chair. It's a sort of foyer thing. So you can see I'm up on my technical terms here, can't you? So I don't mind that. Let's just give that a bit of a crease. Now you don't, if you choose to do this, you do not have to do it in the way I'm doing it. Nicole doesn't really have rules about how she does things. She just has personal preferences, and that's another reason why I like her channel, is because basically you're just watching an artist create. I think I might overlap that so it is on that one. That could go over the top of those. Okay, I'm liking where this is going. So what would I do with this? Well, while I'm working, let's think about this. So what would I do with this if I stick with this completely? What would I do over the top of this? Well, I could do anything, couldn't I? I mean, it could be, I don't know. Maybe I could put people sitting down on different pieces of furniture that are not chairs. So as you can see, I'm just playing, and I didn't realise that green is beginning to be featured here and there. Now it could be that I don't find pieces immediately for the rest of this spread. Maybe they're not in existence at the moment, or maybe they are. I just don't know. I really do like that. I'm wondering. This chair looks like it needs to be on this page. Probably because I have this thing about things facing inwards. So I could get away with that. Actually, if I cut this down a bit, maybe that will go in there. And a little bit more, and I think a little bit more from the other side. So as you can see, it is literally just a process. And I think that's why I love collage, because it is seriously just mindful creativity. I don't have to think too hard. I'm just working at it. I'm working that in a joyful way, in the fact that I'm just putting pieces together that work for me. Right, so we're back to these. That little chair is absolutely beautiful. But that window is even more beautiful. Actually, there's red in this one. I seem to have overlooked that. I think if I cut that bit off there. Sorry, I've obviously got the cutout off to one side, because I didn't think you'd need to see all of the trimming and cutting going on. So cut that down. That will fit in there, and I'll lay that over the top of it. And where's this going to need to be? So how many of you glue book, or I think there's something called smash books as well, which I'm not really a smash book person. I'm not really sure. Not even sure I know what a smash book is, to be honest with you, but I know it's a something. Right, now I've got one space up there, and the only thing I can think of is that little chair there, but I think I just want to go one more time through here and see whether I can find find a little chair in here, because goodness knows what I've thrown in this box over the time, or this basket over the time. No, it's not really what I'm looking for. Now, I'd love it to be facing inwards, but if it's not facing inwards, I'm not going to worry too much about that. So I think once you start doing this, you can get lost. That's a candidate, because it's got green in it. Let's pull it up there a second. You can get so lost in the process of gluing. I know some people who absolutely adore it, and I do find it very therapeutic. There are times when I find it really frustrating because goodness knows my hands get sticky, and it's another candidate. If I cut that bit out of there, let's put that up there. I get all sticky, and then when I get sticky I get annoyed because I can't pick things up, and so I don't know. But I do enjoy the whole process of mindlessly creating. It's just the way I like to perceive it. Oh, I'm guessing there's going to be an animal theme around here at some point. I do like that image. I don't know where I got that from. I love that. I love the colour scheme of that. But it's like with my planner. I use my planner, the spare spaces within my planner, I use as a glue book, and I love it because sometimes when I don't feel that my mojo is completely on the go or in tune with me, or I'm struggling with a colour scheme or an idea, I will sometimes flick back through things like my collage books or my Marguerite Miller challenge that I did. I will sometimes flick back through that and look at, okay, what did I actually create? And sometimes those images inspire me equally as much as other things. So I think we're done. There's another bathroom there. Let's pull the bathroom out close to the top because we know we've got bathrooms in here somewhere. Right, let's put this by. So I've got two kind of candidates. I'm really liking that one, but I think I would have to lose something. However, this one is just small enough. Let's do this one. Let's have a look. I'd like it to have faced the other way, but then that's just me. So how much room do I actually have? That's not the right image, Griffiths. That's why it looks weird. Actually, probably down about there. Now, if I miscut some of these and I have a gap or things like that, I can always come in. Yeah, I need more of that. I can always come in, and that's where I will put maybe a strip of washi tape onto it, or maybe just a strip. Okay, for example, this is a piece I cut off. Maybe I could use that as a strip somewhere on here later on. In fact, I'm going to put that in my basket. So now I like the top, but I'm not overly keen on the bottom. So let's just straighten that off. And it'll be just under the legs. There you go. Right, so I think that will give me my first set of backgrounds. So let's put this down. So we're going to keep that because I like that wallpaper. So this is just part of the process. Hardest thing for me is going to be remembering which bits went where. So I think we're going to put this one down first. Now, I do need to be careful. There are holes here. If I put something glued past the edge of those holes, guess what? It's going to glue to the page underneath. So certain things you do have to be aware of. I also get asked, I use Pritt. Pritt's just the brand that I've always used. I like it. I've never had a problem with it. Some people have problems with glue sticks. They go, or they come unstuck over time. That's not something that's happened to me, and probably on the rare occasion I've missed gluing something perfectly and it's not stayed down, but that's usually I can't speak. usually user error, not the glue stick. However, I'm using a plastic store card, by the way, or loyalty card, because I like the fact that you can smooth out any air bubbles and any bumps in things. Do be careful, because some of these cards, however, can be sharp and you don't want to gouge into your image. Also, any pages that, for example, if I tear away this glue page, this will go into a pile and the pile will become something else in the future. So, because that's just the way I work. I think I want to put this one down next. Or do I? Okay, I'm not happy that that's got a little bit of white along the edge, but one isn't going to get paranoid about it. I'm just going to stick it down. So I think this one's going to go down next. So yes, I think that the secret with using a glue stick is, first of all, make sure you've got a glue stick that was manufactured to be a permanent glue stick in the first place. I know that sounds a little obvious, but not all glue sticks were created equal. If I headbutt this camera, please excuse me. I'm trying to reach in and around and everything over an iPad. Line that up in there, up just a little bit further up. Now there is another way of doing this. You could put everything down and then go around the edges and trim afterwards. I like to come in and do it right in the first place. But there will be times when I will have to come in and trim. I think this piece needs to go down next because it's there. So yes, I wonder how many of you actually already follow Nicole. As I said, she's a fun lady. I really do enjoy watching her channel. I should actually comment more when I'm there too. I always forget to comment. I don't know why. I don't know why I don't comment more, actually. I mean, if you do have a channel and I have been watching it, I do apologise if I haven't commented. I just get a little carried away at watching stuff, and then when the video comes to the end, I normally go, "Oh, what's the next one? What's the next one?" I keep forgetting to comment. So we're down to our very last piece, and that will go beautifully in there. Now, the other thing to know about doing glue books is do not get hung up on, oh, the other side was nice as well, but I like this side better. Do not get hung up about things like, I've torn my glue page, I've torn this, I've wrinkled this. It's a personal glue book. It's not something I'm creating for someone else. If things get slightly marked, I try to just let that go. I try not to make it into more than it is. I'm recycling magazine and book pages into a piece of art as a resource or a reference for myself, because maybe I want to be inspired by certain colour schemes. Maybe I want to be inspired by certain shapes, and I'll look through this later on. So just remember, it's yours. You do with it what you wish. There you go. Now, if you do happen to get glue on the front side of your image, I would say if it's a good quality magazine, you are likely to be able to take a slightly damp cloth. Now, this isn't dirty, it's just stained, and you can sometimes just quickly wipe away any glue stick marks you see on it. However, don't do it so much that you make things wet. Also, if it's black and white or it's wording, be careful, because I found with magazines, for some reason, titles and scripts and words sometimes move. It's like the black ink wants to move. So just be aware of that one. So let's have a look at the other page now. This wasn't here, was I? I wonder why it looked a little bit bizarre on me. Right. Let's think of the order this needs to go down in. I think this needs to be the first image. That's kind of, I don't want people to get paranoid about it, but it is one of the things you need to be aware of when you're doing a glue book or anything that's collage wise is try to work out which order things should go on the page with, so that when you come to gluing them down, you don't all of a sudden get that, oh my god, that was supposed to be under this, that was supposed to be under that. Just spend a minute and have a thought as to what order things are going to be in. It'll save you a lot of frustration by just doing that. So there you go, that's up and down. I think I'm going to go ahead and put the top one down as well. So then I know that I've got that outside edge completely done and dusted. So let's see. Other things I will talk about. I do not subscribe to any magazines. My magazines come to me from friends, people who know I'm always on the lookout for stuff, people like that. So don't get hung up on the fact that you really have to buy magazines to do this. You don't need to buy magazines to do this. That's not trimmed off properly, is it? I have to come back in with a pair of scissors. That didn't cut down there properly, so I will be doing a little bit of a manual trim on that one. So yes, I don't buy I don't subscribe to magazines. I would say though there are lots of free pieces of magazine that usually come through my door. Oh, that's where it is. Okay, I must have torn the corner off. Hopefully that's not messed up that alignment. But if it has, you know what? Not stressing about it. We'll work it out. Maybe that strip I had earlier on will get stuck down. So yes, I don't subscribe to magazines. If I'm at my local grocery store or supermarket, there's always like a magazine stand by the door where it's always full of advertising. Usually there's cruise line companies, there's holiday magazines, there's gardening magazines, things, all free advertising, because obviously they want you to pick it up, take it home, browse, ooh and ah about the content, and they go out and spend money in their shops. They're in business, that's what they do. It's called marketing. So the benefit is you get lots of free fodder that you can, where have I put the card? I've lost the smooth, oh there it is, right in front of my face. So there's lots of stuff out there you could pick up for absolutely nothing. Some websites do have places where you can subscribe. Ooh, that's lucky, it is going to cover that gap. Subscribe and then you get free magazines should you request them. Also things like holiday companies. Say you're planning on going on a cruise or something, or you're planning on taking a holiday abroad. When you go to the travel agent, if you go to a travel agent, pick up as many brochures as you can. They're quite happy to give them to you because they're hoping that you're going to come back and book a holiday with them. So just know that there's plenty of things out there you can use. I mean, junk mail, there's always junk mail. Junk mail, I think, is with us for the rest of our lives. Junk mail never seems to go away in my life. So, and junk mail is full of imagery because, again, they want to sell you something. I'll move that over just slightly. Can I do that? Yes, I can. I was lucky. So there you go, that's our first page is done. So all of a sudden I've turned a sketchbook into an inspirational page. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come in and cut that off because that is going to annoy me. And if I do the next page, because I think we've got enough, what's the time? Oh, we've got plenty of time. Then I don't want this edge throwing me. I also like letting my friends know that I'm on the lookout for magazines and things like that, because all of my friends have different interests. And if they finish with a magazine, what are they going to do? They're probably going to put it into the recycling bin. Well, I'm their new recycling bin. That's a little bit there, but I'll sort that out later. So, see, so if I'm looking for things, say I was looking for a style, then maybe this would be a style page. Now I could come in, put strips of washi down. Where's that strip? I've already lost it. You know that piece we were keeping? I have no idea where it went. Okay, here you go. So I could take this strip and it's off that image, but if I put that across there, it would bring that page over to here. So see what, actually, why don't we just do that? I'm not planning on doing a whole collage today, but there's no reason why I can't give practical examples of what I'm doing and giving you reasons to look at it. So, right, so this piece here will just tie the one page into the other page. I'll try to pick that up like that's the scraper. Do you see what I mean? So even though I've cut pieces off, they can be transferred across. Like here's another example. Okay, this piece here is obviously from there. I could turn that into a square or turn that into strips and then put them across here. Why don't we do that? I did say I wasn't planning to do a whole collage spread, and I won't, but maybe seeing it done is far better than me just blabbing on about it. Right, I think we can lose this bit. There's nothing on the back. It's got nothing of interest on it. So let's just come in. So I've managed to get 3 pieces out of that. This is all, in my opinion, not worth keeping anymore. I've got something stuck in my trimmer. There you go. So I can now use these little pieces to bring that element across. So let's see, where should we go? Oh, I cut the edge of that stool off. I didn't know that. I'm quite liking the idea of that across there. So that needs to come to about there. Now, I know I'm going to get a comment that says, Ceri, everything you do is always so neat. First of all, I don't think it's a fault. Secondly, I can't control that. My brain literally is wired in such a way that for me, vertical and diagonal, yeah, I'll trim just the edge of that off afterwards, is just aesthetically very pleasing to me. Actually, if I go over there, so then it'll link those 2 pieces together. Do I want to do that? Do I want to do it down here? I think I might want to do that down there. I don't know, this feels... I wish I hadn't chopped that stool in half now. I didn't realise I'd done it. I'd like a vertical. I don't really want a diagonal. See, we've started thinking now. I wasn't planning on doing this. Yes, my gut was to put that there. Let's put that there. So yeah, I was going to say, so yes, my neatness, which is pretty much generated by my OCD, I think it's an attribute. It's something that has helped me a lot. I find straight lines aesthetically pleasing. Did I stick that down? I didn't stick that down. I find it aesthetically pleasing. This either needs to be down there or up there. Wonder if I can cut this in half. I've got that in little pieces. That's better. Actually, I might. Yes. Sorry, when my brain is trying to work design stuff out, I obviously stop speaking. And I think my glue stick has just run out. But guess what? I got another one. Oh, nothing like a nice new glue stick. Mind you, the way I go through glue sticks, I can tell you. That's another thing, by the way. If you're someone who goes through a lot of glue sticks, try ordering them in bulk online. Because for the longest time, I used to go to my local stationery store and buy glue sticks. Bad idea. Because what happens is I'm paying a price for an individual glue stick. Obviously, there's no shocker there, is there? However, you'll find that if you go online and look at buying maybe, instead of 1 glue stick, a box of 10 glue sticks, you'll probably have quite a considerable saving. And if you actually buy glue sticks when it's free P&P, you save even more. So I normally shop on either eBay or Amazon. I must admit, eBay is my preference because, personal preference. But what I would say is, sometimes with eBay, you have to spend a certain amount to actually get free P&P. So what I do is I will look for a box of 10 of these, say, and I will add it to my wish list. And then when I'm shopping on eBay and I've got to boost the price up or something to get an extra, say I've got to spend an extra £6 or £7 to actually get free P&P, postage and packaging, and my postage and packaging is about £4, then I will go to my wish list and add a box of these. I'll always need glue. As long as I'm going to be around, I'm going to use glue. So anyway, just think a little bit more before you grab them at the supermarket. So I'll trim that bit off. Before you grab them at the supermarket, because you're going to get a much bigger saving if you go online and buy them. And another thing I would say is, if you subscribe to a channel that has affiliated links to it, like I know Gail Augustinelli. Oh, sorry, caught my arm on my chopper. If you go into her description box, she has a link, or go to her website actually. I think if you go to Gail's website and you go to her favourite things, there's a link there to Amazon. If you enter Amazon through that link and buy anything on Amazon, then Gail will get a little bit of a kickback to help support her with purchasing supplies and stuff like that. You will pay no more money for it, but Amazon will actually give a little percentage to Gail as a thank you for directing you to them. And I know lots of different companies do it. In fact, I think Nicole might actually do it as well. So anyway, just a thought. So, right, before we deviate and get lost in the world of advertising, let's have a look. So, we've got this on the go. Let's get this page off here because that's really sticky. And I just want to wipe my hands. So, I've done my first page. Right, let's think, what should we do the next one on? Let's push it up out of the way. And let's have a bit of a dig. I'm fancying those stripes, actually. Where did we put the stripes? I think stripes would be an interesting one to do. Right, stripes. So stripes there, stripes there, stripes there. I don't know whether I'm always going to be doing things in this sort of, like, I mean, I could go with yellow, but I like to play with themes. Do you know what I mean? Actually, let's have a thought. Can you see I am in shot, aren't I? I was thinking, why don't we add books? Oh, she's adventurous lady, isn't she, up that ladder? Books, because that's almost a stripe. Let's add that to the pile and see what I think about that as we go along. This has got some stripes in it. That might be good as a filler piece. So a book like this is potentially going to take you, oh, there's stripes on that, potentially months, if not a couple of years to fill. It's like my glue book. I know that glue book's probably going to take me at least a year to fill it. And I know Nicole has probably 4 or 5 glue books on at the same time. And I'm sure she's referred, oh, there goes more stripes. She's referred to it in the past and gone, oh, this one's a couple of years old, that one's a couple of years old. It's about the joy, it's not about the deadline. Things like glue books are just fun to do. For me, I find them inspirational. Once I've completed pages, I can look back at them and really enjoy what I've done. And as I said, I will very often go back and have a look at my planner pages when I'm looking for colour schemes and things. Okay, that's stripes as far as I'm concerned. So we're almost at the bottom of this basket. That's a hallway and a half. Why do I think that's Vivian Lee's apartment? Or so, I think that's a fashion designer. I don't know who. Actually, this is another shot from the same magazine. Yeah, because that's... Where did I just put that piece? Yeah, that's turning that corner, isn't it? I think that's a fashion designer. I can't remember off the top of my head. It's been a while since he's put in here. Right, so... let's put these at the top so I remember where they are. So I think we've got enough stripies. Right, I am going to not do it on the next page because I know this is wet at the moment because obviously I've just stuck it on. Normally I would work on the next page with no problem whatsoever. So let's see what we pulled up. Well, I like this, and that's nearly a whole page all of itself. I really like this. This plays to me. Actually, that's nearly a page on itself. I think I may have to trim that down to be able to add something to it. Actually, we may not need the bookcases, guys. That's stripy. This is looking very private schoolboy, isn't it? Maybe that's going to have to be cut down a bit. I've got that as stripes. This has got stripes in it. Maybe we won't be using the books, but I'm going to put them up there just in case I do need to use them. Right. I think this needs to cut off because I don't want this to be about beds. This is about stripes. Right, so that's cut down to there. That's stripes. Would this fit underneath it? I quite like that bowler. Maybe if I cut a strip off here, then that means that I could use the strip on the other side of the page. Right, just about where that shadow starts. Right, so that goes there. Maybe we'll move that one over there so it's not so predictable. I become quite, I was going to use a big word here, formulaic when I create stuff. I sort of go here, 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 here. It just, and I know some people have commented it on the past, and it's, I can assure you, it's so not out of choice. It just happens to be what it is. Pity that's not a bit taller. Right, I think we're going to get rid of this because there's nothing on this. I'm not keeping scraps for keeping scraps' sake. That's so not going to happen here. Oh, quite like that though. Maybe if I cut that down a bit. That goes to there. That goes to there. Let's take this off at about there. So, Nicole, if you do end up watching this, I don't even know whether you know who I am, to be honest, Nicole. But if you do end up watching this, thank you. You have inspired me to create glue books in a different style than I was already doing things. You have definitely inspired me as far as this sort of work goes. And that would go nicely up there. I can deal with that. Pity it's not over there. Actually, I wonder if I put... No, that feels like a bottom piece. I've got a feeling this is too long. I could take off some of that yellow. And I wanted to cut this down. So right, let's deal with that for a start. Right, if I take that down there and take that little bit off there as well. So basically really, really fine tuning the image so that the image is all about the furniture that has stripes. Okay, I can deal with that. I do quite like this piece. In fact, I very much like that piece. So this needs to come off just about there. I should really mark it with a pencil because I'm really risking it. I mean, that's pretty close, isn't it? Then if I do that, this piece can become the piece that goes in there. Okay, I'm liking that. That works because that would be tucked under all of this, so it would be out of sight. This piece is still here, and I like that piece. And I have this piece here as well. And we have the step pieces. This is a set of stairs, by the way. I feel like I'm going to need more pieces. Definitely going to need more. We've got these, haven't we? I wonder. Okay, that fits almost exactly. So let's cut it once and have that cut wrong. So if that slips in there, I like that. I like that. I like this. I'm wondering whether, because it's wider, whether it should be, it would work there, that would be fine. That could work there. We're going to need to put something in there. Actually, I wonder whether this would just, would that be really bad on the eyes? That might be bad on the eyes. I'd quite like this piece to be included somewhere because it pulls the design across. I put that up there, put that on there. So hopefully, guys, this explains to you why, or one of the reasons I can't teach someone to collage. Because I do get loads of requests for that, like, oh, can you teach us how to collage? I can't teach you how to collage. Collage is, I think it's a personal thing. I think that, I just think it's a personal thing. That comes, so I've gone quiet again, I know. It's that whole thought process thing. So I do it about there. Now, I don't have to keep these images in a vertical orientation. It's my piece, I can do them any direction I want. Right, and now I'm going to add a strip across there. And I've got a piece that could go across there. That would really mess with the eyes, that's not happening. I do have another piece of this actually. I wonder, how wide would you have to be? Probably about there. And probably about there. I think we'll make this one the last one though, guys, because otherwise we could be getting boring. Because see, there's stripes in the roof there as well. I think if this piece comes across here, I think we will have done it. I didn't use the staircase and they didn't use the books, and I'm okay about that because there may be a library theme, especially with Madam in a big old frock there. That looks like a meringue sort of affair, doesn't it? How does someone walk in one of those? Just the inquiry minds want to know. Right. I think this little piece needs to go down first. Now, this is what I mean by you really need to analyse which pieces are going down first if it's important to your overall design. And I think this definitely is important to my overall design. So let's move you up a bit just so I know where you're meant to be. If you are doing a piece that's a lot more complex than this, what I would suggest is once you've got the layout, go ahead and take a picture with your iPhone, your smartphone, your iPad, whatever device you've got is what I'm trying to get at. I think I want that to go on after, but I want this to go on next. So you can see the arrangement. However, when you get to sticking them down, something may occur to you. You might want to change the arrangement. Allow yourself to do that, guys. So let's move that over there a bit. You do not have to stick to the plan. That's one thing I absolutely love about art. Unless you're doing classical landscape, portrait, painting, that sort of thing, which, and this whole statement is redundant anyway, but I'm going to say it. There are rules that will make the pieces you create better, like the rules of perspective, perception, distance, rule of thirds, all of those terms that I've heard bantered around, but maybe I don't know enough about them to actually tell you what they all mean. But the different qualities of artwork that you can incorporate into your creations, those are the rules that are there. But some of the most famous artists in the world became famous because they broke those rules, because they bent them, because they turned them in a new direction. So as I said, just be aware that you don't always have to play by the rules. In fact, I'd probably encourage you not to play by the rules, because I think personally that's far more exciting if you don't. But I need to work out where this piece needs to be, because I think he's the one that needs to go down next. So if I put that down, just overlapping that slightly. So yes, so I like the fact that art is exciting. Art cannot be duplicated exactly. Art is a one-off thing. Even by the best forgers in the world, there is always something, if it's made by human hand, that is different every time it's done. Whether it's a brush stroke, whether it's a choice of medium, anything can change as the creation is taking place. So just be aware. To me, that's incredibly exciting, and that's probably why I'm enjoying my artistic journey, because for once I feel free to just create, and I don't have to share my creations with the world. I choose to, because I think that by sharing both my successes and my failures, actually that's not failures, I shouldn't call them failures, my successes and my learning experiences, then we may all learn from those experiences. And I feel that's very noteworthy. I think that I like the process. I love the process. I'm proud of the fact that I can call myself an artist. Some people may not call me an artist. I would like to challenge their definition of an artist. For me, an artist is anyone who actually creates anything. Because art to me is all about creativity. It's all about how you want to express yourself through the medium you feel most comfortable with. Now, art can be used for many things. Oh, look at the back of that. I wish I'd have seen that before I cut that up. But then I really like that. Art can be a vehicle for many different things. Obviously, it can be something that sparks emotion. It can spark love. It can spark anger. It could spark war. There are so many things that are provocative about art. And if you're someone who actually likes to create, I would really, really advise you experience some of those different art forms. If you've got a museum or an art gallery, when did you last go to it? And why don't you go to it more often? I mean, I've got Cardiff's National Museum here because I live in Cardiff, and I will go to the museum at least once every 6 weeks, because there's always new exhibits, there's always new things to see. And I always walk around the whole museum, even though I have walked around some of those exhibits 100 times before. Every time I look at them, they're affected by the mood I am in on the day. Or maybe the light that's coming through the skylight above, or maybe what I've been experiencing on my walk to the museum. Everything is influenced by everything else, and I can look at the same piece of art time and time again, and every time I see something different. And that just tops up my creative juices. I see something, I'm inspired by something. Maybe I'll take a picture of a picture. Maybe I'll take a picture of the frame. Because goodness knows, sometimes I'm well experienced with pictures in frames, and some of the frames, especially of some of those old classic masterpieces, the frames are incredible. I mean, don't just look at the pictures, guys. Look at the frames. They're gilt, they're gold, They've got all ornate carvings on them. And depending on which era they're from, they are just amazing. So anyway, I don't want to harp on because I can quite easily get into lecturing mode, and that's not what this is about. This is just about me starting a new project for me. Now, will I share this with you in the future? I might do. I don't know. I'm not going to do a monthly video on this. I've got so many monthly videos on the go at the moment. I'm struggling to keep up with what I'm keeping up with. So I want that to go on last. I'm struggling to keep up with my own deadline that I've set. For example, some video projects that used to be monthly are now bi-monthly, or is it every other month is what I'm trying to get at. So know that I will not be doing this as a regular video. As I said, I might maybe at Christmas time or December, I might say, oh, let's do a flip through and see where I'm at. I keep ruining this page. There won't be this piece on it, so my glue stick keeps sticking to the wrong side of the page. So you have to be a little careful of this one. There's glue all over it now. So maybe in December I might give you a progress update. How about that? Just so you can see where I got to with it. I think that's straight enough. Is it straight? No, it isn't straight. Come on, you. I know you could do this. Please don't tear on me. I'll try not to get it creased. That's another reason I like Pritt Stick. Is sometimes you can peel it back and put it back down again. There's a little bit of a dink there, but we've got other stuff that will probably be going on this page. I'll wipe some of the glue off the back of this print, so the face of this print, that will help. So right, so where are we up to? One more piece and then that strip in there, and I think we're done. What are we up to? Ooh, we're way overshot the time I thought I was going to allocate for this. That's because I got carried away talking. But you never know. When I edit this down a bit, I'll try and take out any indecisive moments. So if you're watching this video and going, well, what happened to that bit? Or why did that suddenly jump? Or why is there a transitional fade from this to this? It was probably while I was saying something really stupid or in not necessarily needed, do you know what I mean? Or maybe I was having some thinking time. So I will do my best to make sure this is below an hour. Not that you care, because I know many of you have said, Ceri, do as long as you like, which is very generous of you, and I thank you for that. Oh, that's another thing I meant to say too. Sorry, obviously things popping into my brain. Right, now I wanted that across there, in line with the top of that. A big thank you to any of you who are using the thanks button underneath my videos. I believe it's called super thanks or thank you or something. Any money that you do pop into there is muchly appreciated, and I do use that money to buy supplies, because paint and that is not the most cheapest thing in the world. So thank you for that. For some reason, other people seem to be able to see who gives them the money, but I do all my comments through YouTube Studio, and I never seem to be able to see who's done it. So I can't thank you by name, because I don't know who you are. So please don't take it personally. I can't see it. One day I'm sure I'll work out how to do it, and then I'll do my absolute damnedest. But thank you for that. It's lovely that you feel that you'd like to say thank you in some way for the free content that we've put out there. I love what I do. I'm so privileged to be able to create and share. That needs a little bit of a trim off there. Create and share what I do. It gives me great joy to do both the sharing and the creating. And I'm lucky enough to hold down a couple of other jobs that enable me to be able to pay for all of my supplies. Oh, will you stop knocking that, Griffiths? Do my head in. Right, so let's just see if there's any trimming on here. Minuscule, I'll do that without you. So, right, that was my first two spreads in my new Big Bad Glue book, which is just my Big Bag Random Glue book. that was the furniture one. Well, it was the chair one. Now, as I said, I don't know what's going to go on top of this. Maybe that'll be something that you'll see in December and go, oh, that's what he did. Because I don't know yet. This was the second one we did that was built around the idea of stripes. So to me, that's pleasing just looking at it, because I like the images on there, because I chose them in the first place. So anyway, enough of me gabbing on. Thank you so much for watching, guys. As I said, hopefully you enjoyed this as much as I did. Just wanted to bring you in at the start of a project, just so you can see what I'm up to. So, I'm Ceri the Crafter. That's Ceri the Crafter. Until next time, bye-bye now.